Many people believe that success means happiness, and failure means sadness. This idea is very common, but in Buddhism, we see it differently. Both success and failure are only experiences. They come and go, just like the sun and the rain. They are not who we are. When you get something you want, like money or praise, people say you are successful. But how long does that feeling last? Maybe a day, maybe a week. After that, your mind looks for the next goal. You feel pressure to keep winning, to stay on top. That pressure creates stress and sometimes fear. Failure is the same. If something does not go as planned, people call it failure. But is it really? Often, we learn more from failure than from success. A mistake can teach us about ourselves. It can show us where we are still holding on too tightly. In Buddhism, we try not to chase after success or run away from failure. We try to see both clearly. They are like waves on the ocean. They rise, they fall. But the ocean itself stays calm and deep. That ocean is your true nature. When we understand this, we do not need to fear failure or become proud of success. We just keep walking one step at a time. Life is not about winning or losing. It is about being awake in each moment and seeing things as they truly are. In this way, success and failure become just part of the journey, not the goal. Why do we want success so much? Why do we fear failure? The answer often lies in desire. We want to feel important. We want others to respect us. We want comfort, security, and a sense of meaning. These are natural feelings. But in Buddhism, we look closely at desire and how it moves us. Desire is not always bad. It can help us take action. It can give us energy. But when desire becomes too strong, it creates problems. We start to believe that we must succeed. We feel that if we fail, we are not good enough. This belief causes suffering. Sometimes, desire hides behind other names. We call it motivation or ambition. But even good-sounding words can lead to pain if we are not careful. When we become too focused on getting something, we stop seeing what we already have. We stop being present. Desire pulls us into the future. It says, "You will be happy when you get this." But happiness does not wait for some perfect day. It is found here now, in the middle of ordinary life. Success and failure are only results. They are not the source of real peace. Buddhism teaches us to look at our desires gently, not to fight them, but to understand them. When we see clearly, we can make better choices. We can act with care, not with hunger. We can live without being pushed around by wanting. When desire becomes quiet, we begin to feel more free. We do things not just to win, but because they are worth doing. That is the beginning of a different kind of success, one that does not depend on the result. One of the most important teachings in Buddhism is impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same forever. Not success, not failure, not even how we feel. When we forget this, we suffer. But when we understand it, we begin to live with more peace. Think about the seasons. Spring turns to summer, summer to fall, and then winter comes. In the same way, our life moves through different stages. A time of success may be followed by a time of struggle. A loss may lead to a new beginning. Nothing is fixed. Nothing lasts forever. Many people feel fear when they hear this. They think, if nothing lasts, how can I be happy? But this truth is not meant to scare us. It is meant to free us. When we see that everything is always changing, we stop trying to control everything. We stop holding on so tightly. This helps us deal with both success and failure. When success comes, we enjoy it, but we don't become attached. We know it may not last, and that's okay. When failure comes, we don't fall into despair. We know it too will pass. Impermanence teaches us to open our hands. We can welcome what comes and let go when it leaves. We don't need to chase success or fear failure. Both are just passing clouds in the sky of our life. To live with the truth of change is not weakness. It is wisdom. And with that wisdom, we can face each moment with calm and strength. Not because we control the world, but because we understand it. In Buddhism, we speak often about attachment. Attachment means holding on too tightly, to people, to things, to ideas. When we are attached, we suffer. This is true with success and failure as well. It is not success itself that brings pain, but our attachment to it. Imagine holding a cup of tea. If you hold it lightly, you can enjoy the warmth, the smell, the taste. But if you grip the cup too tightly, you may spill it or break it. The same happens with success. When we enjoy it lightly, we feel gratitude. But if we hold it too tightly, we feel fear of losing it, fear of not having enough. The same is true with failure. If we are attached to an image of ourselves as always perfect, then failure feels like a personal attack. We feel shame, anger, or sadness. But if we are not attached to that image, we can see failure simply as something that happened, not as something we are. Attachment turns life into a struggle. It says, I must have this, or I must avoid that. But life does not follow our plans. When we are too attached, even small changes feel painful. Letting go of attachment does not mean we stop caring. It means we care in a more peaceful way. We still try our best. We still learn and grow. But we are not trapped by the results. When we loosen our grip, life becomes softer. Success feels lighter. Failure feels less heavy. We stop needing things to be a certain way. And in that space, we find more peace, more understanding, and more freedom. Many people believe they are only as good as what they achieve. If they succeed, they feel proud. If they fail, they feel ashamed. But in Buddhism, we ask a deeper question. Who are you without your success or failure? You are not your job, your money, or your reputation. You are not the praise you receive or the mistakes you make. These things come and go. They are part of your story, but they are not your true self. Sometimes people work very hard to become somebody. They collect titles, awards, and compliments. But even after reaching their goals, they still feel empty inside. That is because they have built their identity on something that can break or disappear. It is like building a house on sand. Your true self is not found in what you do. It is found in how you live. Are you kind? Are you honest? Do you live with care? These qualities do not depend on success or failure. They stay with you, no matter what happens outside. When we understand this, we stop chasing an image. We stop trying to prove ourselves all the time. We begin to rest in who we are, not in what we achieve. This does not mean we stop trying. It means we try with a different heart. We work hard, not to become somebody, but to live fully and truthfully. That kind of life brings peace, not the loud peace of applause, but the quiet peace of knowing we are enough, just as we are. In Buddhism, the true self is not found in doing more. It is found in being real, being present, and being kind. One of the deepest sources of suffering is comparison. We look at others and ask, why not me? We see someone with more money, more praise, more success, and we begin to feel small. In Buddhism, we see this habit clearly. It creates pain in the mind and heart. Comparison turns success into a race. It makes us think there is only one winner. Even when we succeed, we may not feel happy because someone else has done more. So we keep running, always trying to catch up. This is not freedom. This is a kind of prison. Failure also feels heavier when we compare. If we make a mistake, but others seem to do well, we may feel shame. We forget that everyone's path is different. We all have different lessons to learn, and different timing. No two lives are the same. Buddhism teaches that each person's journey is unique. We are not here to be better than others. We are here to understand ourselves, to grow in wisdom, and to live with care. When we compare, we lose sight of our own path. The mind that compares is never satisfied. It always wants more, always looks outside. But peace comes when we turn inward. We ask, am I doing what is right for me? Am I living with truth? These questions lead to a more honest kind of success. When we stop comparing, we begin to feel lighter. We can appreciate others without jealousy. We can accept ourselves without judgment. And in this way, we step out of suffering and into a deeper kind of joy, one that does not need to be better than anyone else. In life, people give us many labels. They may call us successful, smart, a failure, or not good enough. These words can feel powerful. They can lift us up or pull us down. But in Buddhism, we learn not to hold on to these labels too tightly. They are not who we truly are. Labels come from outside. They come from other people's opinions, from society, or even from our own past. But none of these are stable. A person who is called successful today may be forgotten tomorrow. Someone who is seen as a failure may later inspire many. Things change, opinions change. So why let them define us? If we believe the good labels, we may become proud or fearful of losing them. If we believe the bad ones, we may feel hopeless. In both cases, we give away our power. We let others decide how we feel about ourselves. Buddhism teaches us to look deeper. Beyond the labels, beyond the roles we play, there is something more true. A quiet, steady presence that is not touched by praise or blame. This is the part of us that simply watches, that simply lives. When we stop chasing labels, we begin to live more freely. We no longer need to prove anything. We can just be. And from that place, we act with more honesty and care. Not to earn a title, but because it feels right. The world may still try to name us, but we do not have to believe everything it says. We know that we are more than words. We are a living, changing, growing being, not a label, but a life. Life is always moving. Things rise and fall. Plans succeed and fail. People come and go. In the middle of all this change, it can feel hard to stay steady. But in Buddhism, we learn that even as life moves, we can find a stillness inside. This stillness is not about stopping the world. It is not about making everything perfect. It is about finding a calm place within us, a place that is not shaken by every high and low. When we succeed, we often feel excited. When we fail, we feel low. These are natural reactions. But if we are always riding these waves, our hearts become tired. We feel like we are being pushed around by life. That is why stillness matters. Stillness is not cold or empty. It is full of understanding. It watches success without becoming proud. It sees failure without falling into sadness. It knows that both are part of a bigger picture. We find this stillness when we pause, when we breathe, when we stop chasing, even just for a moment. In that quiet space, we remember who we are. We remember that we are more than what is happening to us. This stillness gives us strength, not the strength to fight, but the strength to remain open, to listen, to respond with care, not reaction. From this place, even change feels less frightening. In the middle of noise, stillness is a gift. It helps us see clearly. It helps us move forward without getting lost. And it reminds us that peace is not found in controlling life, but in meeting it with a steady heart. Many people struggle with the idea of acceptance. They think it means giving up or not trying. But in Buddhism, acceptance is something very different. It means seeing clearly what is happening without adding extra judgment or resistance. When we experience success, we often say, "This is good." When we fail, we say, "This is bad." These words seem simple, but they carry a heavy weight. They turn events into something personal. They make us feel proud, or ashamed, or angry. But what if we could look at life without putting these labels on everything? What if we could just say, "This is what is happening right now"? That simple shift changes everything. Accepting what is does not mean we stop growing. It means we begin from a place of peace. We no longer fight the moment. We meet it, we understand it, and then, from that understanding, we choose how to respond. Judgment clouds our view. It makes failure feel like the end. It makes success feel like a demand to keep performing. But when we drop judgment, we see more clearly. We see that every experience has something to teach us. Nothing is wasted. Acceptance opens the heart. It helps us to be honest, to be kind to ourselves, even when things are difficult. We can say, "Yes, this is painful," without blaming. We can say, "Yes, this is joyful," without clinging. In this way, we find a quiet strength, not from controlling life, but from being with life as it is. And in that space, we discover a deeper kind of peace, one that does not depend on success or fear of failure, but on simple, clear acceptance of this moment. Most people fear failure. They see it as something to avoid, something that brings shame or disappointment. But in Buddhism, we often say that failure can be a great teacher, sometimes even more powerful than success. When everything goes well, we often don't stop to look deeply. We move quickly, feeling pleased, and assume we understand. But when things fall apart, when our plans do not work, we are forced to pause. We ask deeper questions. We look at ourselves with more honesty. Failure shows us where we are still holding on. It shows us our expectations, our pride, our fears. These things often stay hidden when life is easy, but in difficult moments they rise to the surface. And when we see them clearly, we can begin to understand and grow. This does not mean failure feels good. It can hurt. But that pain is not useless. It can open the heart. It can make us more patient, more humble, and more compassionate, not just toward ourselves, but toward others too. When we stop seeing failure as the enemy, we stop being afraid of trying. We begin to see that falling down is part of walking. No one learns without mistakes. No one grows without struggle. In this way, failure becomes not the end of the road, but the beginning of something deeper. It teaches us to let go of pride. It invites us to see ourselves more clearly, and it reminds us that our worth is not based on perfect results, but on the courage to keep going and to keep learning. Success often feels like a reward. People admire us, praise us, and we feel strong. But in Buddhism, we are careful with success, not because it is bad, but because it can quietly feed the ego. And the ego, if left unchecked, creates suffering. When we succeed, it is easy to believe, "I did this. I am better than others." We may not say it out loud, but the feeling can grow inside. This kind of pride separates us. It builds walls. It makes us forget that we are connected to others, and that all things arise through many causes, not just our effort. The ego wants to protect its image. It wants more success, more attention. But this desire becomes endless. No matter how much we achieve, it is never enough. We begin to fear losing what we have. We may start acting not from kindness or truth, but from the need to keep winning. True strength is different. It does not come from ego. It comes from humility. It knows that success is part of life, but not the whole of life. It understands that nothing we have, money, praise or position, will last forever. When success comes, we can bow to it with gratitude. We can enjoy it, share it, and let it pass. We do not need to make it part of our identity. We do not need to build a self around it. In this way, success becomes a test, not of our ability, but of our wisdom. Can we stay grounded? Can we stay kind? Can we remember that who we are is not what we gain, but how we live? But in life, we are often told to try harder, to keep pushing, to never give up. Effort is important, yes. But in Buddhism, we also learn the value of acceptance. True peace comes when we find balance between the two. Effort means we care. It means we take action, do our best, and stay committed. Without effort, nothing can grow. But effort without acceptance can turn into struggle. We may become tense, impatient, or angry when things don't go our way. Acceptance means we see things as they are. We do not fight the present moment. We understand that results are not always in our control. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we do not. Both are part of life. If we only accept and never try, we may become passive. If we only try and never accept, we may become burned out. The middle way is to act with energy, but without clinging to the outcome. We plant the seed, we water it, and we let go. This is not easy. It takes practice. We may need to remind ourselves again and again, I will do my part, and I will trust the rest. This kind of effort is not forced. It is gentle, steady, and wise. When we find this balance, success becomes a gift, not a demand. Failure becomes a lesson, not a curse, and every action, no matter the result, becomes meaningful, because it comes from a peaceful heart. In this way, life is not about always winning or always accepting. It is about knowing when to try and when to release. This balance brings not only strength, but also a quiet joy that carries us through both sunshine and storm. We often think life will begin after we succeed, after we reach the goal, fix the problem, or become someone better. But in Buddhism, we are reminded that life is happening now, not later, not someday. This moment is where everything begins. Success and failure are part of the future and the past. We think about what went wrong, or what we hope will go right. But while we are lost in those thoughts, we miss what is here. We miss the beauty of now. Living fully means being present. It means paying attention to the small things. The sound of the wind, the feeling of your breath, the look in someone's eyes. These moments are not small. They are life itself. When we live this way, success is no longer something far away. It is not a prize we must chase. It is the way we walk, the way we speak, the way we treat others. Each moment becomes a chance to live with care. Even failure loses its sharp edge. We no longer see it as time wasted. We see it as part of our story, something that brought us to this moment. And if we are awake in this moment, how can it be a failure? Living fully does not mean everything goes our way. It means we show up, again and again, with an open heart. We feel deeply, we listen closely, we act with honesty, and we don't wait for life to start. We are already in it. In the end, true success is not found in the future. It is found in being here, completely, just as we are. Throughout our lives, we are taught to chase success and fear failure. But in the Buddhist way, we learn to step back and see a bigger truth. Success and failure are not enemies. They are both part of life's unfolding, like day and night, or joy and sorrow. We do not need to escape them. We only need to understand them. When we stop letting our value depend on outside results, we begin to breathe more freely. We find that we are already complete, not because we are perfect, but because we are fully alive. In this space, we can walk with peace, even when things are uncertain. This is not about avoiding effort or ignoring goals. It is about meeting life with calm eyes and an open heart. We do what we can, with care and sincerity, and let the rest be as it is. Whether we rise or fall, We are learning, growing, and simply being human. True freedom is not found in what we achieve, but in how we relate to each step of the journey. When we see this clearly, we are no longer trapped by praise or blame. We are simply living, awake, steady, and kind. Before we end, I want to say thank you. If you have supported this channel in any way, by liking this video, leaving a comment, subscribing, sending a super thanks, or becoming a member, please know that your presence and kindness are deeply appreciated. It means a great deal. May this reflection offer a little peace in your day. May you walk your path with clarity and compassion, no matter where it leads.